I hope that you are doing well. This is Sabrina. Welcome back to my channel. I'm so happy that you're here. So I am going to be sharing the release that I'm working with for Everyday Explorers. There's a ton of releases today, but I'm only working with one of the new releases, and it is a fantastic one called Holiday Seals. Official holiday photo, holiday baking, opening presents, listening to Christmas carols, December, this year's tree, meeting Santa, Christmas shopping, and just in time for Christmas. So lots of great little stamps to document different holiday stories and December stories. So what I'm going to do with this stamp set in this video is I'm going to do an everyday kind of December project for myself. And I picked some photos, and then I think I've done this design maybe before, but I am going to take some paper and either leave the photo right on top, or I'm going to put something over the top of it and stamp and do some journaling. So it'll be an interactive, almost calendar looking design. And then the next Everyday Explorers video, I'm going to show you how to make some journaling cards with this stamp set, which is always my favorite. And then I can use those in my December projects. One little stamp set to work with, and I am excited to dive into this project. And I hope you guys are excited to see how to use this stamp set. And I will link all the rest of the stamps in the description box below. All right, let's get started. Okay, I don't know where I'm going to start with this project. I don't know if I should put down the photos first or if I should go ahead and fold my paper and decide from there how I want to put my stamped sentiments on. So I'm going to start with just putting on the photos just a little bit and then folding one of the inserts and deciding that I need to go ahead and kind of move everything off to the side and stamp everything that I could possibly need. And so basically build my flaps first and go from there. And like I said in the intro, I think I've kind of done this design before, but I mean, who doesn't love a grid? A grid is really easy and versatile, and you can find so many different uses for it. I'm also really into torn paper right now, so I tore a red piece of scrap and added it to the bottom for this holiday baking. I just stamped the holiday baking, and then I actually added a few circles from, I think it's the Mixed Marks stamp set. I'm not sure. But once I stamped that, I was like, well, wait a second. Let me go see if it's in the shop. It's not in the shop. So I switched out that stamp set. I'm not going to use it anymore. And I'm going to pull a different stamp that has some flowers on it. So I'll use that one. I am stamping Just in Time for Christmas, the December, and Currently Loving, and I also grabbed the Currently Seals that's still available in the shop, and also the Currently Prompts. That way I could take these three stamp sets, one of them being the new ones, and kind of blend them all together so they could work together, and show you guys how I'm taking those three stamps and using them together. I wanted to make one patterned card, so I did Home for the Holidays, and I did that kind of in the center, but didn't pay attention to where I was going to fold the Home for the Holidays. But in the end, it does turn out really good because I do add some patterned paper, but I stamped the Home for the Holidays in black and then red everywhere else. I also stamped this year's tree, and I'm going to go ahead and stamp opening presents because I want to make another kind of clustered stamped card. I stamped Here and Now in that really pretty green color and also added in some flowers on the side. This is kind of where I switched out the stamp sets based on what I knew was available, and I will link those in the description box. I added some more red scraps to that Here and Now card up at the top with some torn pieces. So I have all of my pieces now kind of stamped, and now I can cut everything out and go back and build my different flaps. Not every single photo is going to have a flap. There's kind of two in the middle that are not going to have them. I felt it was important to have a few that were flat. Sometimes I feel like when you have a layout that flips up for every single one, I don't know. I wanted to do something a little different and have some that are flat. And also, I do feel that since I do December daily, so much of this is already documented that I really only need an overview for my personal albums. So you can see I'm making a pile of everything that I need to cut, and then I can bring it back together on the project and start to assemble it. So I know that the baking is going to go on the far left. My daughter and I have a tradition of baking a new recipe or just any baking during the holidays. And this past December, we made homemade peppermint patties. And mind you, I don't like peppermint patties. I don't. But these were good. These were so good. And they turned out great. They were worth all the effort. So that is going to have a flip up, and same thing with the Christmas Eve photo I took of the kids and I just hanging out. I was wrapping presents, and I'm going to put lift up so I can do a cluster of stamps underneath the photo for something a little different. I use the ruler so that way I can align the photos as best as I can between the left and the right. I'd love to know in the comments section how you handle aligning things from the left and the right and how you keep things straight, if you want to let me know. I just put down home for the holidays and also the holiday bake. And going back to the whole alignment thing, I was looking at the photo of the kids and I felt like it was crooked. Maybe it actually wasn't, but I just felt like it was. So I kind of ripped it up and then placed it back down, and underneath it I grabbed my X-Acto knife to trim off a piece of the flap because I felt like that was crooked as well. So using the X-Acto knife helped to fix it. The bottom left corner is going to be kind of a double photo of Christmas shopping. And then on the top, I'm just going to use a stamped sentiment because the photos are kind of busy. My husband and I have our hands full in one of the photos, and then the other photo is just a really big cart full of stuff because we try to do our Christmas shopping in one trip. And so I didn't want those busy photos on top. I also trim off a piece from this little insert. It was bugging me. And then I realized, since my December daily supplies were kind of sitting right next to me, I'm getting ready to organize them and put them out, that I could look at using some of the papers. So I grabbed a few of the papers, and I'm so glad that I did because it was kind of the pop of color that I needed, and it brought in all those festive December colors. So I took some more torn paper. I took a green section and I tore it, and I put the torn edge facing down, and I just love it. It was definitely what I needed for this project. I added some more red torn edges to the holiday baking, and it just did a little slice of it up at the top with this polka dot red paper, and I love it. And on the kids and I doing the wrapping, I added December, a slice of my everyday, and just in time for Christmas. So a little cluster of stamping. I also decided to add this fun pattern paper with the leaves and the poinsettias and the citrus fruit. So I added that, and then I just trimmed off the extra. So that is really fun. I'm also going to add a piece of that kind of leaf and fruit paper to home for the holidays. The photo of the kids in front of the Christmas tree, I wanted to include this year's tree and currently excited about, but I'm not sure where I'm going to put them yet, so that's why I moved on to home for the holidays. I decided to put a little torn chunk down at the bottom. I thought about covering up home for the holidays and restamping it, but in the end, I'm just like, no, I'm not gonna fuss with it any further. I'm just gonna put my torn piece of paper down, and that'll be good enough. The Here and Now, I love that card too. It had some torn paper on it as well with the red up on the top right. And then I added some polka dot piece at the bottom. It's like a really, really small piece of it. And then you flip it open, and I have some photos from Christmas morning, and I put currently thankful for. For the last little spot in the top right, I thought I could just make like a title space and just put it right on the cardstock, but I liked the idea of using an actual white piece of paper that was from like the flips and the folds. And so I took another torn piece of paper and clustered in Totally Enjoying Right Now, a December little stamp, and also Current Favorite. I just went back. I'm going back now to add in that polka dot red little section. It's just a very, very tiny strip of it, but I felt like it was important to have the diagonal cards kind of match. So holiday baking and then the presents flap match. And now I'll go back up and assemble the top right card with the white piece of paper, the torn green page, or not page, paper, and then add in the December sentiment. And I just stamped that right on the white paper, since that's the white paper that I use for all of my stamping. Added in Totally Enjoying Right Now and Current Favorite. And then in the December box, you can write the date, but I decided to write like December is the best, and then on the Christmas Eve photo I would write the actual day, which is 24th. We somehow always wait to wrap presents till the 24th, but you know, it is what it is. It's just the way that my husband and I have done things since college, and now it's kind of a tradition, and now the kids like to help, so it all works out. I am stamping today looks like this, since I wanted to add something to the photo of the kids and I, since that was kind of a focal photo along with the kids in front of the tree. I did use some markers to color in the mistletoe, and I really, really love how that came together. Heba is always doing that on her projects, and I do it sometimes, but I just get so nervous about getting the right colors. But I tried it on a spare piece of paper, and so I was able to color in the little holly leaves and the mixing bowl and then the gingerbread. And I also colored in the presents. And then I'm going to do something really fun with the flowers in just a second, because I wanted to add flowers to the top of the photo of the kids and I, and also down at the tree photo. Again, so that way there was some visual interest right there and kind of a focal spot for these two photos. So I stamped the two flowers and then realized that I need a third one for that tree photo, and so I'm going to stamp that in a second. Or I already stamped it. I took a laminated piece of paper and then just scribbled on some red ink from the marker, grabbed my water brush, and I'm able to fill in the flowers. It's such an easy trick to be able to color in your stamped images doing this. So easy. And I love it. It adds the perfect touch that I needed to wrap up this project. And then I can fussy cut out the other flowers that I have. I'm just finishing up with coloring in the presents. I chose brown and red for my presents, and then I can add in the rest of the flowers and the stamped sentiments, and I even colored in the tree on the stamped sentiment. I did kind of a bright green color for the tree, and that way, like I said, those two sentiment areas will balance each other out along with the flowers. So perfect way to kind of draw attention to those photos. Now I can put it back into my album. This album is so stuffed. It's my me album. I probably need to break it into two. I'm showing you how the flaps look, and then I decided to add in 2 puffy heart stickers and then kind of a star sticker, and that's it. This project will be done, and I absolutely love it. It's a perfect overview of December, and I hope you have enjoyed watching. I'd love a thumbs up or a subscribe if you're new to my channel. Have a great day. Bye.